Hey guys, welcome to PT Studies. Today we're going to go over the brachial plexus. I'm going to go over each nerve down to the radial and ulnar split. And we're going to briefly talk about some muscles that each nerve innervates so you have a better understanding of it. So let's jump right into it. So I have here C5, C6, C7, C8, and T1. These are the nerves that the brachial plexus runs between. So the first one I like to start off with is the easiest one. We're going to come right over here and we're going to draw our long thoracic nerve. It's going to run all the way down. It has innervation from C5, C6, and C7. And this innervates, let me make that label, long thoracic nerve. And the long thoracic nerve is responsible for the innervation of serratus anterior, see how it runs down the body? So does serratus anterior. Okay. Next. We have a branch coming right off here. This is our dorsal scapular nerve. The dorsal scapular nerve innervates our levator scap, our levator scapulae, our rhomboids, major and minor. So these are muscles very high up on the body. As we can see, it's very close to the nerve root. Okay. So let's extend each of our nerve roots. Extend this. C6 joins T5. C7 gets extended. And C8 joins T1. Now the way I like to remember the plexus, it's as simple as X, Y, and Z. So as we can see, we have an X right here. C7 will branch off into a Y. C7 will have a connection down to T1, making our Z. Okay, so if we follow along C5 here, we will have the branch for the lateral pectoral nerve. And as you can possibly guess, that's innervating the lateral portion of the pec. And as we come off this, we will branch into our musculocutaneous nerve. That's an S on the end. So the musculocutaneous nerve innervates the flexor compartment of the brachium. So that includes our bicep, the short head and the long head, the coracobrachialis, and the brachialis. So now let's start working on T7. Oh, almost missed something. So we're going to work our way back a little bit. We have the suprascapular. The suprascapular nerve, sorry that I missed this earlier, so we're going to work our way all the way back. So back up the arm, we're going to go past the pec, work our way back to the suprascapular nerve. So the dorsoscapular nerve innervated our levator scap. What's something a little bit below that? The suprascap innervates our rotator cuff. So let's write that in. So suprascap innervates the rotator cuff. With the exception of the teres minor, and instead of teres minor, it innervates teres major. Okay, now we will continue along with C7. So we have two branches coming off here. So we have the upper and the lower subscapular nerve. We also have another branch down here, and this is the thoracodorsal nerve. Now the name suggests thoraco, so this is going to be in our thoracic cavity, and dorsal, backside. So this is going to innervate our latissimus dorsi. That is going to innervate the latissimus dorsi. It's a very big muscle. It runs down about the midpoint of your back, all the way down. So, and it's going to have a very big nerve. So if we continue along C7, we see a branch right here. We have our axillary and our radial. So the axillary right here skipped over teres minor earlier. What did I just say? The axillary did not skip the teres minor. The suprascapular skipped over teres minor. Axillary is going to innervate this teres minor. And also, it's going to innervate the deltoid. Makes sense, because the axillary is in your armpit. The deltoid is right above your armpit. So you can kind of make that connection right there. The radial nerve will innervate the brachioradialis, the extensor radialis, longus, and brevis, the triceps, as it does run down the back of your arm, it is going to innervate the extensor compartment of the brachium. and the anconeus. Okay, so that is our radial nerve. Okay, now we're going to follow along T1. Here we have a branch for the medial pec. This one, nothing confusing about it. Medial portion of the pec. Going to have two branches down here. These are going to be the anti-brachial cutaneous and the medial brachial cutaneous. Okay. This is going to provide feeling in the antebrachium and the after the brachium. So anti is the forearm and medial is before the forearm. After this, we are going to have a branch, the ulnar. And this is going to make an M right here between the axillary and the radial. This is going to become your median nerve. Now the median nerve innervates many things. It's going to innervate most of your flexor compartment in the forearm. So let's start going over that. Let's find a spot to write. How about right here? So it's going to innervate our pronator teres. It's going to innervate the flexor carpi radialis. The palmaris longus. And the flexor, Flexor, sorry, I had a brain fart, flexor digitorum superficialis. Okay, the flexor digitorum superficialis. Okay, that is it. Let's try to erase this so I have space for the next muscles without erasing my entire plexus. Okay, good enough. Okay, so that was our median nerve. The last nerve that we're going to be going over is our ulnar nerve. And this innervates a couple of things. As you guessed it, the flexor carpi ulnaris. going to also innervate the flexor digitorum profundus, but only the medial half. So a little about this profundus. This is basically the same thing, or very similar, to the flexor digitorum superficialis. Profundus literally just means deeper. So they're basically just named exactly how they are, but we're going to go over these muscles a lot more when we go over muscles of the forearm. We're going to go into these in depth, and you're going to know them a lot better. But this is our brachial plexus from C5 to T1 to the radial and ulnar split. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.